that tastes like lamb.
I've wanted to visit Hokkaido for a long time now. Not just because of the scenery, but because of the food. As someone who used to work as a chef, I was curious. What actually makes Hokkaido different from the rest of Japan? So for the next 3 days, that's exactly what we're gonna find out.
Pizza zero. Pizza.
Wow, cheesecake.
After picking up our rental-car at Shinchitose Airport, we made our first stop at Wattsu parking area. One thing I love about Japan is even the highway rest stops have good food. It's not just somewhere to stretch your legs, it's often your first taste of the region.
Yeah, the Hokkaido is very famous with anko too. Azuki beans.
Our next stop was Otaru. If you're coming here for food, this is probably where you'll end up, Sakaimachi Street. Once a busy merchant district during Otaru's port city days, it's now one of the most popular places to explore, and a pretty good place to start eating. First up, Yubari Melon. It's only around for a short season, but when it's ripe, it is ridiculously sweet and incredibly soft.
Whoa.
Of course, you can't come to Otaru without trying fresh seafood. With some of Japan's best fishing waters right off the coast, this is exactly the kind of meal you hope for. I appreciate when great ingredients don't need much help. You gonna drink it? No! After a quick stop to check into our Airbnb, it was time for dinner. When you're in Sapporo, it's hard not to end up at Ganso Sapporo Ramen Yokocho. With nearly every shop claiming to serve great ramen, picking one isn't an easy task. We walked up and down this alley 3 different times, and we kept coming back to this one spot. So we eventually decided that we had to have dinner here. Teishoku Ramen. Named after the town of Teishoku in eastern Hokkaido, the shop brings ingredients and flavors from that part of the island to the heart of Sapporo. You can go with the classic Hokkaido corn butter miso ramen, or if you're like me, try something a little different, venison chashu ramen. I'd never had venison in ramen before. The flavor reminded me a little of beef jerky. It had that slightly gamey, earthy taste you'd expect from venison, but it wasn't overpowering. It actually worked really well with the rich broth. The next morning, we stayed in Sapporo and stopped by a Teishoku restaurant with a pretty unique name, 11028349. Read in Japanese, those numbers become Hito ni Yasashiku, which means be kind to people. The restaurant had only been open for a few weeks when we visited. Teishoku is one of my favorite ways to eat in Japan. I went with the oyster fry set, which came with kimpira gobo, tofu, and braised hotate. The oysters were surprisingly big, plump, and cooked just right. Simple, satisfying, and honestly one of my favorite meals of the trip. Instead of focusing on just one dish, you get a balanced meal with rice, soup, and a few different sides. Simple, comforting, and something people here eat every day.
That was good.
Next up was the one place I knew I had to visit before leaving Sapporo.
The next station is Sapporo. Please change here for the number 9.
The Sapporo Beer Museum. Sapporo is Japan's oldest beer brand, dating back to 1876, and this museum does a great job walking you through its history. After a short film, you make your way through the exhibits before ending where every brewery tour should. The tasting room.
It's the tasting room.
We tried 3 of Sapporo's beers, Black Label, Classic, and Kaitakushi, which pays tribute to the brewery's early days. My favorite was the Black Label. Clean, crisp, and one that I actually drink regularly.
What's next?
Right next door is the Sapporo Beer Garden. There was one thing we came here for. Jingisukan. Named after Genghis Khan, the dish was inspired by the idea that Mongolian soldiers cooked lamb over their helmets. Whether that's actually true is up for debate, but the name stuck. Today, it's one of Hokkaido's signature dishes. I'm usually not a huge lamb guy. It definitely has that slightly gamey flavor, but it wasn't nearly as strong as I expected. And with a dark beer alongside it, I was not complaining. To finish off the night, one more serving of Yubari melon.
Cheese with like a caramelized.
Yeah, caramel's on top.
Oh my god, this melon is so soft.
The next morning, we left Sapporo and headed to Furano.
Anyway, that was good.
Farm Tomita. This is one of the reasons people visit Hokkaido in the summer. The lavender was in full bloom, and you could actually smell it as you walk through the fields.
You can't stop smelling lavender.
First things first, lavender soft serve. Quick tip, don't wait in the first long line you see. There are a few places around the farm that sell the exact same ice cream. The lavender is definitely there, but it's not overpowering. You still get that rich, creamy soft serve.
It's good, Emma. It's yummy.
It's good?
Yeah.
Nice.
We also stopped by the cafe to try a few lavender drinks, coffee, tea, and even lavender kalpus. If you never had kalpus before, it's a popular Japanese yogurt-based soft drink with a light, slightly tangy flavor. The lavender gives it a floral twist that actually works pretty well. We also grabbed the corn croquette and a potato croquette. Hokkaido is Japan's largest potato producing region, so it makes sense that the potato croquette ended up being my favorite.
Oh, this one was good.
We already had Yubari melon earlier in the trip. This one is Furano melon. Not quite as sweet and a little bit firmer, but still really good.
Ah.
Oh. Oh, so good.
Just a few minutes away is the Furano cheese factory. It was built to showcase the region's dairy industry, which Hokkaido is famous for, thanks to its cool climate and wide open farmland. We came for the pizza. One tip, order as soon as you get there.
I'm so fatigued. It's been about an hour.
They only have one wood-fired oven, and we ended up waiting about an hour and a half.
Pizza's coming! Let's eat. Hey yo, pizza's here. Pizza's here.
We ordered the mushroom pizza and the margarita.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, one of this one.
The crust was light and chewy, the ingredients were fresh, and the cheese, amazing.
Look at the cheese oil. It's good.
After spending the day in Furano, we made the drive back to Sapporo. There was one dish I couldn't leave Hokkaido without trying. Soup curry. Unlike the thick Japanese curry most people are familiar with, soup curry is lighter, packed with vegetables, and built around a flavorful spice broth. It actually started right here in Sapporo in the 1970s and has become one of Hokkaido's signature dishes. Ramai was busy when we got there, which is usually a good sign. One of the things I like is how customizable it is. You can choose your spice level, add garlic oil or coconut cream, and it's served with saffron rice on the side. I went with the pork kokuni and added coconut cream. They give you these big pieces of pork that are fall apart tender, and the coconut added just enough richness without taking over the broth. The only thing I left behind was the eggplant. That's just a texture thing. Otherwise, I almost cleaned the bowl.
That was so good.
You think you can eat more?
I don't know about that.
Ooh. Not a bad way to end our trip in Hokkaido. So, what makes Hokkaido different? I think you have to come here and find out for yourself.
Did you compare? Wow, すごいよ.
food, good scenery, good memories. Thanks for coming along. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. And if there's somewhere else in Japan you think we should eat our way through next, let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Mahalo and aloha.